Wow.
Yes.
So what was he at the time? A procurement officer?
He was the procurement officer.
Yes, he was the procurement officer at the time.
And do you know why?
Then hamunga won lana tahon lulu.
Did it? Not to my knowledge.
No, not to my knowledge.
All right. Now you became the procurement officer. Sorry, assistant procurement officer, and the other was the procurement officer.
Nena kon ya ne kon acting or assistant procurement officer. The other one ne kon procurement officer bi.
Wow, non la ko gaay doxale won
That is
by
how
then.
they put us.
Was there a contracts committee?
Nena dangen fa amon contracts committee.
Wow, amon a contracts committee.
Yes, we do have a contract committee.
In every contracts committee,
And in every contracts committee,
procurement officer be
the procurement officer
Momode serve as a secretary to the contracts committee.
do serve as the secretary to the contract committee.
Okay. And was this contracts committee meeting?
Nena
frequently?
contract committee be dañ dey am meeting frequently.
Wow, contracts committee be then they are meeting why ne could they involve the procurement actors?
Yes, they do have meetings, but they don't involve the procurement officers.
What do you mean by that? Is Dauda John? Is it Dauda John?
Dauda Hafna.
Hafna, sorry. Is Dauda not part of the contracts committee?
Nena Dauda have na mo bokku ci contract committee bi.
By then, not to my knowledge, how man that mungi wants a contracts
At that
committee.
time, not to my knowledge, I don't know whether he was in the contract committee or not.
Now you explained there was a period in 2019 that you were dormant, not doing anything. There was no work allocated to you. At some point you had an encounter or you met Fatou Tall.
Then I was in 2019 dafa amon jamono bi nga xamne da nga dormant because of amulo ndi nga xamne bala joxuñ la yoon pour ngay liggéey wa fekk nga fofu ku ñewa
Fatou Tall, the deputy CEO.
Fatou Tall moy deputy CEO.
You are very right. Linga wax moy dega.
Yes, that is true.
2019.
2019.
Dafa dama dormanton te well before lolu la sax.
I was dormant, but that was even before that.
Moy well before mom Fatou Tall di ñew to the council.
This was well before Fatou came to council.
Why mom bim ñewé?
But when she came,
Dafa gis ne I was dormant.
she realized that I was dormant.
So mu oma engagement.
She then called me and engaged me
Si office mayor be.
in the office of the mayor.
So sila ma laaj.
There she asked me.
Ma wakos ma constraints ma go through council.
I then told her all the constraints that I face in council.
Mu laaj ma suma qualifications eh.
She then asked me about the qualification that I have.
Ma wax ko lan la achieve.
And then I told her all the qualifications that I
So
acquired.
mom sila deal it up to mom.
Then that she took things into her hands
Mu binda a memo.
and wrote a memo
Pour mu joxe ko to all user departments at the council.
so that she can serve it to all user departments in council.
And did that change the situation?
Nena ndalo dafa waccion situation bi.
Did it? Not
No.
ba léegi loolu taxut situation bi change.
Still the situation was not changed.
Parce que binda na 2 memos la binda sa not only 1 memo ñaari memo la
She
binda.
don't even end up writing one memo, she wrote 2 memos.
At some point as well, there was the issue of your movement to the Ostend project, to
Now,
the Ostend coordinator's office.
Jamono bi nga xamne tamit dañ la move on ci office yi
Ostend coordinator's office.
Ostend coordinator's office.
Can you explain that?
Nena mba mën nga ñu leral fofu.
Waaw dañ ma redeploy on
Yes, I was redeployed
being as a procurement officer
being a procurement officer
to the rates office.
to the rate office.
Waaye loolu yëpp am na lu ko sababoon.
But all that there was a cause.
Parce que dafa amoon lu transpire
Something had transpired
suma diggante ak the then CEO
between myself and the then CEO
concerning about a particular procurement.
concerning about a particular procurement.
Is that Mustafa Bachili?
Yes, it's
Mustafa Bakili la.
Wow, Mustafa Amara Bachili la.
Yes, Mustafa Amara Bakili.
Please proceed.
Nena mun nga continue.
Wow, through loolu dafa
Through
am
that,
procurement bu am.
It happened that there was a procurement that we had.
Parce que dañ ma bind a memo
I was written a memo.
on the 23rd of June
This was June 23rd.
concerning a tendering of a procurement.
Concerning tendering of a procurement.
procurement involved $13 million.
And that procurement involved $13 million.
More the procurement of the trash bins. Trash bins.
And that was the procurement of the trash bins.
Wow. So when we in Paskiman, Musulma invited in contracts committee.
But for me, as I said, I was never been invited to the contracts committee.
They came prior to that. Ñom dañ defoon sen li naka la tuddaate defoon sen bidding documents yëpp ñu send ko to GPPA.
They prepared all their bidding documents and sent it to the GPPA.
Loo xam ne GPPA dañ ko turn down.
And that was turned down by the GPPA.
Parce que there was amutoon a proper procurement plan.
There wasn't any proper procurement plan.
Ba pare the amount bu entail pour procurement bi.
And the amount entailed for the procurement.
Loolu dafa waroon a nekk loo xam ne it was bid for tendering. Dafa waroon a nekk an open tendering.
That should be or supposed to be an open tendering.
Can you remember how much it was?
Sorry. Like I said before, 13 million.
As I said before, 13 million.
All right. Please proceed.
Léegi buñ demee GPPA gars yi dañ turn down seen léegi naka la tuddaati procurement process bi.
So when they went to the GPP, it was turned down. Their procurement plan was turned down.
Parce que specifications yuñ joxe woon.
Because the specification that they have given
correct to turn.
Was not correct.
Parce que dafa waroon a nekk at 13 million bi mooy woon pour trash bins waaye the procurement should have dafa waroon a nekk a trash bins ak trucks yi. 3 trucks.
Excuse me.
13 million bi dafa war a nekk pour trash bins yi.
The 13 million they're supposed to be for the trash bins.
Why the procurement being my invite pour ñu discuss at the contracts committee.
But the procurement that I was invited to the contracts committee to discuss.
Dafa waroon a nekk pour 3 trucks.
It should be about the 3 trucks.
3 trucks at 13 million waroon a nekk the cost for the trash bins.
3 trucks at 13 million as the cost of the trash bins.
Man time boobu xaw ma woon ne GPPA dañ leen turn down.
But at that time I wasn't aware that it was turned down by the GPPA.
Because GPPA felt there wasn't the involvement of the procurement officer.
Because the GPPA, they realized that there wasn't any involvement from the procurement officer.
So ñoom ñu call me in.
Then I was invited or called in.
Léegi buñ demee li def deliberation on meeting na naka la ñoo liyee ma gis specification.
So when we go and make deliberation about the meetings, I then realized that
specification, it was copied and pasted from KMC's specification on their trucks.
Specification was copied and pasted from KMC trucks.
So manit ma bañ ne loolu waruta am.
I then refused or said that shouldn't happen.
Parce que ñu dañ war a def suñ own specification.
Because we should do our own specification.
You invite the user department that is going to use the trucks.
Then we invite the user departments, those supposed to use or not supposed to use the trucks.
Parce que in case there is a breakdown.
Because in case if it happens there is a breakdown.
That user department ñoom ñoo war a ñëw pour seet ne lii ak lii moo yaaxu so ñoom ñoo war a serve as ñoom suñ advisor.
That the user department should come and tell us what happened or what we should do to the trucks. So they should be the advisors to us.
Which loo xam ne boobu sax agree woon nañ.
And that was agreed.
You invite the mechanic.
We invite the mechanic.
Why coming to the trash bins?
But when it comes to the trash bins,
parce que there is this particular supplier of, should I say, a vendor.
There was a special
vendor or supplier.
Special vendor or supplier.
Kuñ tuddee Keba and Sons.
By the name Keba and Sons.
Keba and Sons boobu turam.
That Keba and Sons name.
Dafa bari loo xam ne comme mun naa ne tur household name la in Banjul City Council.
It's just like a household names in Banjul City Council.
Parce que in every procurement transaction boo gis rek.
Every procurement transaction that you come across.
Foofu foog nga gis ne Keba and Sons.
You see Keba and Sons.
So buñ indee ne Keba and Sons lañ bëgg a pour mu qualify for that procurement.
So when I was told or they said that Keba are the person they choose to be qualified for the procurement.
Ma dellu ma bañaat ne loolu mënut a.
Repeat the interpretation. Ms. Njie, please
restate what you said so that he can get it. And you take it slowly so that he can interpret.
Okay.
Mane kom Keba and Sons.
As I said, Keba and Sons.
Kom turbo hamnela.
It's a name that is.
Nipa ko hambir BCC.
Everybody knew that name in the BCC. So that.
Legi banyer Keba and Sons lañ buga award contract be.
Now when they said they want to award the contract to Keba and Sons.
Parce que man already amna a clue.
Because I got a clue already.
Le Keba and Sons bobo.
That Keba and Sons.
Dafa boka ak mayor be.
Is related to the mayor.
Ted yo ku boka ak mayor be.
And a relative of the mayor.
You war ko award that contract.
Shouldn't be award of a contract.
It's a conflict of interest.
That shows that it's a conflict of interest.
You mean, sorry, let me cut you short. You mean the mayors of Banjul?
Yes.
Rohey Malick Lowe?
Yes. The mayors of Banjul, Rohey Malick Lowe.
Yes, Rohey Malick Lowe. That's the person I'm referring to. The mayors.
In procurement.
And in procurement.
Conflict of interest.
The conflict of interest
should
not happen. You should not have somebody that you know or a relative
award a contract
to be awarded a contract.
So brought it to them.
I then brought it to them.
I questioned the CEO.
I then questioned the CEO.
Why Keba and Sons?
I then asked him why Keba and Sons.
It should have been open tendering.
Because this should be an open tendering.
13 million, it has gone beyond the threshold.
Because 30 million is beyond the threshold.
So you push and pull.
There was a push and pull therein. So
you then call off the meeting.
Then we were told to call off the meeting.
What did he tell you at the time?
At that time, Miss Njie try pull drag drag.
She was saying that Miss Njie, you are trying to dragging us. I think this meeting
as at now
should be stopped at now.
Eventually,
when we close from work, I went home.
A call.
I then had a call.
It was from the CEO.
And this call was from the CEO.
Mukolma.
Yes, Mustafa Bachili?
Yes, Mustafa Amar Bachili.
That's correct, Mustafa Amar Bachili.
Please proceed.
When he called me, he said to me, Miss Njie, we need you urgently at the office. I then said to him, hope is peace. He said to me, just come. Because I'm a citizen of home, I'm living in Banjul.
So
Then I went back to the office. When I went back to the office,
the director of planning.
I find him with Katim Ture, the director of planning. They were sitting.
You can have a seat.
Then Katim told me to have a seat. That is how I seated. After sitting, Katim started talking. He said to me, you are here, but you are not the only young or child here. And I think you are not above, or your education is not above the people you find here. But I think so.
To terms with what we want.
You have to come in terms with what we want.
Why the then CEO?
But the then CEO,
come as usual,
as usual, because he always thinks things to be quickly done. He then said to him, boy, I want you to tell him what is the truth.
By the time listening ear.
I was listening to them. Then Katim said to me,
upon all the lots BCC,
all the lot that in the council BCC here,
Mayoress be single-handedly picked you.
The Mayoress single-handedly picked you
for
you to accompany with her to go forward.
Time bobu munatuma len ma baye pour ñu
nga anda mom
pour ma anda mom dem Turkey.
Okay, for me to accompany her to Turkey.
Wow. Legi manit munatuma len jox the chance pour ñu continuer sen wax be.
And then that time I said I decided that I will not give them more chance for them to go ahead with their talking.
parce que man kuma xam ne le moom ñoom all mënuma la ne comme Mr. Touré or Mr. Bachelet ku nekk dama laa wax ne la Uncle Katim.
Because both of them, the CEO and Katim, I always call them not by the name but Uncle Katim.
Ma ne ko Uncle Katim.
I said to him, Uncle Katim,
dama bëgg nga laajal ma mayoress be.
I want you to ask the mayoress
ndax xam naa fu mu dëkk.
whether she know where I live.
No. Ndax xam naa fu mu dëkk. Do I know where she lives?
Whether I knew where she lives.
Yes. Ne ko laajal ma ko ndax xam naa fu mu dëkk.
I then told him that ask her whether I know where she lives.
Wala mus naa koo ñaan any favor ne ko defaral ma lii.
Whether I have ever pleaded to him for a favor for her to do something for me.
Wala mus concerning about tukki bi nga wax ndax mus naa dugg office am ne ko yóbbu ma tukki.
Or the journey you are talking about, whether I have gone to her office and said, please help me to travel.
Parce que man suma tukki ak mayoress bi.
Because my travel with mayoress.
Information bi awma any channel loo xam ne wax naa ko taxaw naa ko ak man ma mayoress bi.
The information, we have no channel that it have never happened for me to stand or discuss with her about the journeys or traveling.
Everything came through Fatou Tall.
Everything came through Fatou Tall.
Parce que Fatou Tall moo ma oo by then maa ngi woon suma office.
Because
mu call ma on telephone.
Fatou Tall who called me while I was in the office.
mu ne ma ñëwal fekk ma office mayor léegi nii.
She then said to me, come and meet me at mayor's office right now.
te bu ma fa demee.
When I went there,
maa ngi ko fekk mu ngi toog ak Aïssatou Njie.
I found her sitting there with Aïssatou Njie.
I think she was the referrals coordinator also.
I think she was the referrals coordinator.
Parce que man maa moo ma waroon a ànd to that trip ak mayoress bi.
Because myself and her and the mayoress should travel together in that trip.
noonu la ma fàttal ne ma ndax sa passport bi is still valid.
Then Fatou asked me whether my passport is still valid.
ma ne ko déedéet suma passport bi expired.
I said to her, no, my passport is already expired.
But jokingly mu wax ma ne ma xam nga yow lii laa dee wax si sa ñàkk a sérieux doo dee jël things seriously.
But jokingly she said to me that this is what I normally tell you because you never take things seriously.
So Aïssatou Njie tam moom it the same thing mu ne ma tey duñ la wax the good news fekk Fatal tam feyu ma. mu ne Aïssatou Njie moo ne Fatal ne ko fekk feyu leen ma buñ ko wax the good news.
I said so. She then said to me, Fatal, pay for me. I have a good news for you.
Fatal ne ko déedéet kii
No, Mr. Boja, that's not it. Listen again.
Aïssatou Njie moo ko wax ne ko kii fokk mu fay ñu.
Okay. She said Aïssatou Njie said I should pay for them.
man maa leen war a fay. man maa ko war a fay.
I know I should pay for them.
Why that was a joke.
I know that was a joke.
Well, léegi Fatal ne ko déedéet mu ne ma mayor moo ko call.
Then Fatou then said to her, no, she was called by the mayor.
ne pour man ma àndaa moom dafa am a trip to Turkey.
So that I can accompany her because she got a trip to Turkey.
pour ma act as her personal assistant.
For me to be there as her personal assistant.
loolu yëpp weesu.
All that.
ma ne Katim ne ko soo leen ma wax lii.
So I said to Katim, if you people are telling me this,
dafa mel ni da ngeen ma bëgg a bribe for something.
that means it seems to be you people want to bribe me for something.
mu ne ñoom seen oo biñ ma oo foofu noonu.
And she said to me, the call that we made to you this year.
loolu si baati Mustapha Bachelet mooy the then CEO moo ma wax loolu.
That is from the then CEO Bachelet is the one who told us that.
mu ne mayor moo ne kenn mënut a challenge autorité am.
And that Mayor said nobody can be able to challenge her authority.
parce que dégg na lu xew si meeting boobu noonu.
Because she heard what happened on that meeting.
te moom mënut a boot ku am dëkk si gannaawam bi.
And she cannot be able to help somebody who have.
No. Repeat that portion.
ne mayor mu ne mënut a boot ku am dëkk si gannaawam bi.
May I be guided?
Saying, let the commissioner.
May I be guided?
She cannot put on her back somebody who's got tongues.
Tongues, very well. Thank you.
mu ne mayor mu ne mënut a boot ku am dëkk si gannaawam bi.
Very well.
te man maa ngi bëgg a nekk an obstacle.
And she said that I want to be an obstacle.
so moom Mustapha Bachelet the then CEO.
And he, Mustapha Bachelet, the then CEO.
mu ne xale bi daf ñu paree yàpp.
said to me that, but this child want to belittle us.
Parce que dama bëgg kom ku wara nekk na an obstacle ku bëgg stand through their fortune.
Because she seems to be an obstacle who want to stand in our fortune.
Why mom did not try to give some of my family members suma mbokay.
He said he will try to see some of my family members.
Ma delu wat tontu wat ko ne ko.
I then repeated an answer to him that.
Mane ko yow fo wara dem sa fofu fanane moy gëna metti ci suma family.
I said to him that wherever you wish to go, I think that must be the hard place in my family.
Parce que man fokk na ne man dañ ma yakamti te dañ ma eb.
And I know for me they are bugging me.
Every day, every blessed morning, I step out from suñ kër wara liggéey.
And every day when I'm stepping out from our home to work,
am na luma suma yaay dee wax.
my mother always tell me something.
Te moom dafa jaar si place boobu.
And my mother have been at this place
te waruma
before.
steen turam.
And I don't want to stain her name.
So ma loolu moo nekk si man.
That is what was in me.
So waree dem foofu te yow war ngaa gën a xam kan moo ma jur.
And if you want to go there, you should know. You should better know that who borns me or who is my mother.
Ma ne ko foofu moom is an out of bounds.
And I told him that that is out of bounds.
So mu ne ma yow Miss Njie mun nga ñëw excuse nga dem parce que yow sa oola fii tam amut njëriñ foogoon nañ ne suñ la ooyee mun nañoo am na ku ñëw mun a waxal koo xam ne dafa gaaw a reason waaye yow pare wuloo ko.
She then said to me, Mr. Njie, I think it's better for you to leave because I think that you should be somebody whom if people talk to you, you will hear what people have said.
Te man foofu laa believe ne.
And from there I believe that.
That's my story.
About my story.
The dark story bu ma am at BCC.
That is the dark story that I have at the BCC.
Foofu la emanated.
That is emanated from that.
Yes, definitely you have all the rights with your experience to say that the dark story probably started with the encounter you had with Mr. Njie. Is it Mr. Njie?
No. Mr. Katim Ture, the director of planning.
And the CEO.
Yes.
Correct. Now, they saw you at the time as an obstacle.
Yes,
that's correct.
That is why the CEO said that you are the reason as to why they will not have their fortune. Yes,
that's correct.
And by that statement, what did you understand?
What I understand is that award contract to Keba and Sons. The first thing is to award the contract to Keba and Sons. It entails something. For me too, there is a way they think of me or they handle me.
No, that is not what she meant. Listen to it again.
Okay, because I know they have said something about me.
No. That's not correct.
Somebody told me something before.
Very well. That somebody told me something. I was informed of something before.
Yes.
Yes, 13 million bobu nono for that particular procurement.
That 13 million that was proposed for.
That was for the procurement.
For the procurement.
There is a share for you.
Everybody got a share therein. That is what I realized.
And so they only came back to you at the time because they got rejected.
Exactly, you are right, Council.
Exactly, that's correct. Because
rejection bidding bobu nono.
That bidding which was rejected.
Mom CEO be.
The CEO.
Dafma
he called me.
Will you prepare a procurement plan?
To prepare a procurement plan.
Not me man kena solely pulma defko.
Not me solely to prepare it.
Why the with the help of the then acting director of internal audit.
But I'll do it in the help of the then internal auditor.
And the then acting finance manager Ibu Drame.
And the then acting finance manager Ibu Drame.
We sat on a Saturday. Pull you that procurement plan. Parce que daf ñu create defaral ñu honorarium pull that prepare that procurement plan.
We were told to prepare it. It falls on a Saturday, and we were prepared, or we were ready to be given a honorarium.
Why, based on expertise on procurement,
but based on the experience or expertise I have in the procurement,
you have my inputs with the then director of internal audit.
I then give my inputs to the then director of audit.
You definitely pass.
We did all we need to do already, and we are ready to pass it. The then finance manager Ibu Drame. He then went and discussed with the then finance manager Ibu Drame.
On their own.
And while instead they did it for their own.
Without
without our consent or knowledge. One time I was sitting.
You sent me an email that was copied to me.
And they sent me an email that was copied to me.
And it was from GPPA.
And this email was from the GPPA.
So, an email
when that email was written to me.
No, email be the CEO.
Oh, the email was sent or written to the CEO.
Why didn't you copy?
But I was copied very well.
When
he saw the email,
he told me I'm not limited because GPPA didn't go on their frustration. It was done outside the SPU.
He thought that I have done something because the GPPA they saw him that it was out of.
The procurement plan was done outside the SPU.
Outside procurement unit.
Okay, it was done outside the procurement plan.
So I think the GPPA didn't send a warning.
So am I right to say that what you have said is that the procurement plan was done outside the special procurement unit, the SPU? Correct?
That's very correct.
That's very correct.
Please proceed.
Go ahead.
So,
when he saw that,
mo write back to GPPA.
He then wrote back to GPPA.
Mo wanene,
showing them that
an interference.
I have an interference that I did.
This
is the reason, or that is why GPPA wrote that.
GPPA wrote back to him.
The GPPA then wrote back to him.
One sent frustration in Banjul City Council under his leadership.
Showing him that there are frustration in Banjul City Council under his leadership.
With compliance, they am compliance. They are under
compliance, they don't have compliance.
So no more innocent correspondence from back and forth between me and him.
That is how our correspondence started between myself and him, back and forth.
Do you have this correspondence?
Yes, I have the correspondence with me.
Yes, I do.
Can we please see it?
These are the two memos from Fatuta. Wait. The contracts committee meeting, they called me for the 13 million. My redeployment letter. My indefinite suspension. Council, should I give you all the correspondence or bit by bit?
You can do it bit by bit as you
yes, because
state
I've
your
mentioned
evidence. About
the memo that was written by Fatutal, the two memos.
Yes.
And this is the contracts committee meeting that he wrote, the memo that he wrote that I should attend the contracts committee meeting.
Very well.
And this is my redeployment letter. And I also have my indefinite suspension, or should I wait till I come
yes,
after that?
Till we reach to that point. How about the correspondence as well with GPA?
I'm having it. That's it.
The ones with Mr. Bacheli, you have it?
There's another one. Sir. This is the compliance and performance audit report. Yes, that's it for now.
We apply to tender some of the documents mentioned via the correspondences between the CEO, the witness, and GPPA, and the redeployment letters as well. The first is a memo dated the 8th of November 2019, addressed to all employees of BCC from Fatutal, Deputy CEO. The subject is procurement. The second is also a memo dated the 29th of November 2019 from the Deputy CEO. The subject, payments to vendors. We have contracts committee meeting where the various addressees were invited to the meeting, 20th of June 2020. The redeployment letter of yes, we will reach this stage where you were redeployed from the procurement unit to the rates unit. We have the annual procurement plan. The date is 26th of June 2020. The subject is BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. We have a response from GPA addressed to the Chief Executive Officer on the 7th of July 2020. The subject is BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. Signed by Ibrahim Sanyang for the Director General. We have an annual procurement plan for 2020, signed by Njie, Procurement Officer, BCC. We have a letter addressed to the Chief Executive Officer, Banjul City Council. The date is 27th of June 2019, with the subject compliance and performance audit for 2017-2018 and 2018 fiscal year. Signed by Jamila Odum, Director General. All to be admitted into evidence and marked accordingly.
Yes, these are original copies. After okay. Thank you.
A memo dated the 8th of November 2019, addressed to all employees of BCC from Fatutal, Deputy CEO, and the subject is procurement. A memo dated the 29th of November 2019. The memo is addressed to all employees of BCC, and it emanated from Fatutal, Deputy CEO, and the subject is payments to vendors. A letter dated the 23rd of June 2020 with reference 16/BCC/50/Volume 1. It is addressed to the CEO, Deputy Mayor, Councillor, Acting Director of Admin, Acting Director of Finance, Acting Director of Audit, Municipal Engineer, and Acting Procurement Officer. And the names are therein. The letter has the subject Contract Committee Meeting. It is signed by the CEO and it is copied to the Lord Mayor BCC, and a file copy is maintained. A letter dated 26th of June 2020 with reference 53/BCC/9/Volume 2. It is addressed to the Director General GPPA, and it has subject BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. It is signed by the CEO, copied to the Lord Mayor, Acting Director of Finance, Acting Procurement Officer, and a file copy is maintained. A letter dated the 27th of June 2019. It is from the Procurement Office. It has reference GPPA/BCC/CPA/105. It is addressed to the Chief Executive Officer. It has the subject Compliance and Performance Audit for 2017-2018 and 2018 fiscal year. It is signed by Jamila Odom for Director General, and a file copy is maintained. A letter dated the 1st of July 2020. It is addressed to the CEO, Banjul City Council. It has subject BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. It is signed by Aidan Njie, Acting Procurement Officer, BCC. It is copied to the Lord Mayor and the Acting Director of Finance, Director General GPPA, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Lands, Chairman, Establishment Committee, Local Government Service Commission. A letter dated the 7th of July 2020 from the GPPA. It has reference GPPA/BCC/APP/99 in brackets IS. It has the subject BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. And attached to this letter of the 7th of July 2020 is a letter dated the 11th of February 2015 with reference GPPA/BCC/17. It is addressed to the CEO, Banjul City Council, with the subject Recommendation to request a training. It is signed by Samuel D. Mendy for Director General, and a file copy is maintained. Further attached to the said two previous letters is a letter dated the 21st of January 2015 with reference 96/BCC/19 addressed to the Director General GPPA, and it has subject Annual Procurement Plan. It is signed by the CEO. It is copied to the Lord Mayor, BCC, Director of Admin, BCC, Director of Finance, Chairman, Finance Committee, and a file copy is maintained. These documents are admitted together in a bundle as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/IN/003.
As the Commission places. Now, you did not agree to do what they wanted you to do.
Nena kon yow nangulon si ñom luñ bëgg pour nga def.
Wa nanguma won ba pare cancel.
I disagree. And after cancel,
those are original copies. Can I have a copy of it, please? Also.
For the purpose of the records, Mr. Interpreter?
Yes, these are original copies. Can I have the original copies, or can I give you photocopies?
Yes. You can make the application to the commission, to the chair.
Yeah, I'm going to apply to commission.
Madam Chair, those are original copies. Can I have a copy of those documents?
Yes, we have admitted the original copies. I will direct the registrar to make copies available to you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Registrar, you are directed to copy this exhibit LGC/BCC/IN/003 and provide the said copies to the witness.
Yes. I will read one of the letters that you wrote to the Chief Executive Officer, Mustafa Bachili.
Nena dana jangal ben letter bi nga xamne yow sa bop ya ko bind ci executive moy Mr. Bachili.
It is dated the 1st of July 2020.
Nena 1st of July 2020.
It reads, please allow me to, with courtesy, respond and make clarification on the above caption issue in relation to the preparation and submission of a procurement plan prescribed by the JPA as captured on the letter dated 26th of June 2020. 26th of June 2020. Referenced 53/BCC/9/volume 2, addressed to the GPA and copied to me, expressing my lack of commitment to my responsibilities. It is rather unfortunate that there is an attempt to tarnish my work ethics regarding the preparation of the procurement plan in question, when in fact I have nothing whatsoever to do with this at the latter stage. Please kindly refresh your memory when you personally called me on the fact that when convened on the 11th of June 2020, I did emphasize that it was safer and prudent to consult GPBA to acquire the standard and recommended template from them and all other necessary guidelines to make sure we comply in accordance with the GPA procedures. Sir, you offered an incentive or honorarium for the three staffs involved, that is the acting procurement officer, acting finance manager, and acting internal auditor, to work overtime and weekend from 12th to 14th of June 2020 to work on the procurement plan. If you could please further recall, I had to insist on visiting the GPA office for consultation and advice. In fact, you instructed your driver to take me to GPA, after much debate, when finally I was able to convince you to instruct your driver to take me. Sir, please recollect my visit to GPA, which was very fruitful, since I was able to access the new and right template and guidelines for the preparation of the procurement plan, which I personally handed over to you, expecting that a meeting would be called or instructions given or even plan for the preparation of the procurement plan as per the template and guidelines. But nothing of that sort happened. I was therefore disappointed as usual and dumbfounded when I read your letter addressed to GPA and copied to me in reaction to your submission of a deficit procurement plan, which I have no knowledge of, nor did I have any final input in it, and yet be blamed for a crime that was never committed. Furthermore, associating this to my lack of commitment to duty, with all due respect, sir, is a manifestation of unethical administrative value. Please take note that there is no material evidence or exhibit to pursue my lack of commitment to duty, when I can provide evidence demonstrating the frustration of former procurement officers of our institution under your leadership from the inception of the procurement unit in June 2014, which I was appointed as the assistant procurement officer. I count on your cooperation to follow GPA rules and regulations, which can help support and add value to my role as the assistant Procurement Officer. Yours sincerely, Njie, Procurement Officer BCC. Now, you wrote this to him.
Nena li boy sa letter bi nga xamne yako bindon.
Wa mako ko bindon.
Yes,
tontu ko lim binda.
I wrote
GPPA binda mom mu tontu.
I wrote this letter to him to respond the letter that he wrote to me after he was written by the GPPA.
And this is referencing a letter that, yes, he wrote to GPPA, correct? On the 26th of June 2020.
Nena letter la bi nga xamne mom bind na ko GPPA bobu nga ko tontu non bi nga xamne bind na ko 26th of
June
2020.
Wow, he's
Yes.
very right. Moy letter bim binda GPPA.
That is
Letter
right. You are
bim binda
right.
GPPA bobu la lolu la binda.
That is the letter that he wrote to the GPPA. That is what he wrote.
Wow, pour wone comme man suma incompetence liggéey bi.
To show my incompetence in the work.
Manit non la ko tonto pour won ko ne ko momit lim def mo jaadut lolu tax manit ma respond back to his letter.
That is my response to him to show him that what he have did was not right.
Now, let me read the letter of the 26th of June 2020, addressed to the Director General, GPPA, Caribbean Avenue, KM. Says, BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. Attached to this letter is an email from a member of your compliance team on the above mentioned subject, copied to both the mayor and myself. We, however, regret the fact that this is officially unacceptable by the management of the council as a channel of communication. I have written on 2 occasions to your institution looking for expertise in the preparation of our annual procurement plan in futility, especially in the absence of a specialized procurement unit. Some time ago, a senior procurement officer was successfully interviewed by the Local Government Service Commission, in bracket, body responsible for hiring council's senior staff members, but later rejected the job offer. The commission has still not filled the vacancies forwarded, which includes the senior procurement officer and vital to form the basis of a properly constituted SPU, that's a special procurement unit. In the meantime, we have to make use of an acting procurement officer who is totally not committed to the job, except for scouting invoices. As a form of compliance, we provided honorarium to the Assistant Procurement Officer, Assistant Finance Manager, and Assistant Internal Auditor to form a team and meet the various section heads in the production of the plan. To say that we are grossly violating the regular 2022, I believe it's rule maybe, but it is the regular 22 through hearsay. Also, having given the above narrative is really unfair on us. I count on your usual support and understanding. Yours faithfully, the Chief Executive Officer, Mustafa Bachili. Now, GPA responded, right, in 2020 days in email.
Nena GPP tamit dañ tontu ci email.
Email la GPPA njëkk send.
It was the email that they first sent.
Yes.
Pour wone ne the procurement plan.
To see that the procurement plan,
ñu ngi ko defee outside the procurement unit.
it was done outside the procurement unit.
So moom mu binda.
Right.
Then he then wrote
Pour wone ne man.
to show that myself.
It was a hearsay from man ma wax GPPA ne procurement plan wasn't done in the procurement unit.
That it was a hearsay from me that I informed the procurement that this procurement plan was done out of the procurement unit.
So no la bindee pour tontu GPPA.
That is how he wrote to respond to the GPPA.
Man tam ma binda.
Then I wrote.
Parce que daf letter am bi daf ko copy si man.
Because he copied a letter to me, so I
man
wrote.
tam ma respond. I think ne man ma njëkk respond before GPPA or GPPA tam dañ respond to
I'm not sure.
letter.
I think I responded before the GPPA.
Why GPPA tam respond ne?
They responded.
Di ko won comme moom.
Showing him that he himself.
Moom it ñaaka li management ak ñaaka am compliance since moom inception bi mu nekkee BCC.
Since he lack of compliance since inception, he started at the BCC. since the inception.
You're right. So the letter via email from GPA was dated the 25th of June 2020. It
And
reads,
GPA ñom send email be 25th of June 2020.
it reads, good day. GPA acknowledges receipt of your annual procurement plan for 2020 from your submitted procurement plan. It was obvious that the said plan was not prepared by your procurement officer or SPU. This practice is a gross violation of the public procurement regulations, section 2020, paragraph P, subparagraph T. Subsequently, you are advised to desist from the practice and ensure that the procurement officer, SPU, undertake all procurement functions as enshrined in regulations 22. Now, when he responded, BCC further responded. The last letter I will read, it reads, on the 7th of July 2020, address to the Chief Executive Officer, that's from BCC, BCC Annual Procurement Plan 2020. It says, he made reference to the letter of the 26th of June 2020. It reads, first, you expressed regret that the Lord Mayor's was copied with our email dated the 25th of June 2020 and relates to captioned subject matter. Please be informed that the authority strongly disagrees that it was officially wrong for it to have sent a letter to the council and copied the Lord Mayor's. Secondly, remember that your procurement plan was sent via email and we responded to that email. According to our records, the Lord Mayor is being copied for almost all the letters or correspondences, including those coming from the council to the authority. Further, our correspondences with local government authorities, including KMC and other regional councils, their chairman or mayor are always copied, and therefore the BCC cannot be an exception. Therefore, it is in order to have copied the Lord Mayors. Second, you indicated that you wrote on 2 occasions to the authority for expertise in the preparation of your annual procurement plan in fertility, especially in the absence of a specialized procurement unit. Yes, we received these letters and we are really appreciative of you requesting for our expertise, as it is part of our mandate to train, guide, or provide clinical expertise to our stakeholders when needed. However, may I refer you to your letter reference 96/BCC/91, dated the 21st of January 2015, with the Lord Mayor copied, and I respond via our letter GPPA/BCC/73, dated 11th of February 2015. The authority is so concerned with BCC's failure and refusal to comply with the GPA rules, regulations, and instructions, despite the authority having pointed out the specifics in all our previous compliance review reports. Areas of incorrect procedures which require transformation, as always recommended to the concerned authorities during our exit meeting and further highlighted in the numerous compliance review reports for the past years. Regrettably, your council has been persistently non-compliant for the past 4 years, as can be clearly seen on the table below. 2015, the scores were 20%. 2016, the scores were 32%. 2017, 45%. 2018, 46%. We doubt even this percentage. We think it's about 10% or 15% based on the evidence we have seen in the commission, independent from the commissioners. Interesting, the conclusion of each of our annual compliance review reports, among other non-compliance issues, we have been strongly recommending for you to formally establish a functional specialized procurement unit, and that immediate training be arranged for the officers responsible for procurement at your own request, but to no avail. Please note that BC is the only council without a functional SPU. Well, that's not correct. There are others that have no functional unit as well. The BC should understand that it is using taxpayers' money, and as it is obligated to comply with the GPA's rules and regulations. Given the volume of your transactions, the GPA will be more than willing to assist and set up, and the letter goes on. Yes. So this is the letter that you are referring to, correct?
Wa bobu la nekon di wax.
It is clearly stated
Nee na
by
loolu-
GPA
GPPA moom luñ fa wax moom leer na
that under Mr. Bachelet's administration as the CEO,
nee na Mr Bachelet bu mu nekkoon CEO
under his administration as
bi
CEO,
nga xam ne moom si administration bi as a CEO
and the mayor as Rahim Malik Lo,
ak
as the mayor,
PRS Rahim Malik Lo
they were persistently disregarding procurement rules and regulations.
nee na
laws.
ñooñu dañu nekk ñoo xam ne ñooñu toppuñ loi wala rules yi nga xam ne procurement rules
This is GPA's opinion.
nee na lii nekkatu xeli kenn de waaye xeli opinion GPPA la ñoom lu ñu gis loolu la ñoo wax
And of course, their opinion is based on facts.
nee na te foog naa ne ñoom seen xalaat bi nekk na loo xam ne lu war wala lu am la
You have also mirrored the same fact.
nee na te yow tamit lu dëgg boobu noonu boobu rek nga yow tamit loolu nga wax
The fact that you as an assistant procurement officer,
te yow nekk nga assistant procurement officer
you have clearly explained that they were not following procurement regulations.
nee na te li nga wax foofu leer na ne toppuñ wala yoon bi nga xam ne yéen procurement yoon bi ngeen teg bi nga xam ne boobu la ñu war a doxal
Correct?
nee na loolu dëgg la
waaw council li nga wax moom
that is
mooy
correct.
dëgga
Council, that is the truth
Yes, Ms. Njie,
yes
nee na
I
Miss
believe
Ndiaye
it's a convenient point. We are stopping here.
nee na
We will
léegi
continue your evidence tomorrow morning.
amul lu ñuy def dañoo am fii
We may rise.
ñu continuer si
Thank you, ma'am.
jamono bi.
Thank you.